Hello fellow YouTubers, Mac in VR here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about frame rate and latency for the three biggest ways you can play your PC VR on your Oculus Quest or Quest 2. Let's get straight into it then, and remember, we're born to respawn. The channel is growing rapidly at the moment, and if you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button. The algorithm loves the likes. And do all the other stuff that's popping up around me right now. This video has been made to directly compare latency and frame rate between the three main ways of playing your PC VR on your Oculus Quest or Quest 2. The first is by using the official Oculus Link cable, which released way back in December 2019. This allowed users to link the Quest to a PC and then use it as a normal wired PC VR headset. Second, Guy Godin's gold standard wireless streaming app called Virtual Desktop. I've made many videos about this app, check them out here, and this has been my main source of wireless PC VR streaming for over a year now. Last but by no means least is the brand new offering from Oculus itself, the Oculus Air Link. Like Virtual Desktop, this uses your Wi-Fi signal to stream wirelessly from your PC to Quest 2. Just a quick note here, you will need the Oculus version 28 software on both your PC and Quest to run this feature. I've done a setup video on this here. Right, so we have our three contenders, so I need to explain how I recorded the information. All footage recorded using Oculus Air Link and the official link cable was recorded using Oculus Mirror with the Oculus debug tool showing the performance overlay. I'm specifically looking at app motion to photon latency. That's latency to all the stupids out there like me. And the frame rate for this comparison. For reference, the Oculus software on my PC was running at 90 Hz refresh rate with the render resolution at 1.5. The Air Link bitrate was set to dynamic, which was at 100 megabits per second. Virtual desktop streaming settings were as follows: graphics medium, refresh rate 90 Hz, bitrate 100 megabits per second to match the Air Link dynamic bitrate. Sliced encoding on, everything else off. So that I could record the performance overlay in real time, I cast the Oculus gameplay to my PC. All recording was done via OBS at 1080 by 1920 and 60 frames per second. Half Life Alyx graphics were set to high. The footage recording on Oculus Mirror does look better than the Quest cast for Virtual Desktop, but that's because Quest can only record 1024 by 1024 at 30 frames per second, so please bear that in mind. Oculus Link first then. As you can see by the performance graph, the frame rate is pretty steady between 85 and 90 Hz. The motion to photon latency was around 50 milliseconds, with spikes up to 55-60 milliseconds when it got very busy. Despite what would appear to be a fairly high latency, the game played very smoothly with barely any jitters or stuttering. Now on to Virtual Desktop. As I said, this footage was captured using the Oculus Cast feature, so graphically it doesn't look so good on screen, but the game looked fine actually in the headset. As per the link cable, our frame rate was about 85 to 90 FPS, even when it got busy. Virtual Desktop measures latency using total motion to photon latency, and as you can see, it barely flickered past 40 milliseconds, even during firefights, so that is very impressive. Overall, the game felt smooth with hardly any stuttering of note. Now the big one. How did Oculus Air Link perform against its two rivals? Frame rate was rock solid at 90 Hz with only tiny drops occasionally. This may be due to Oculus employing a technique called asynchronous space warp, which is a frame rate smoothing technique. If you are interested in reading more about this, I have linked an Oculus developer page in the description down below. The app motion to photon latency, as measured by the Oculus debug tool, was, on average, 58 milliseconds with some small fluctuations. The gameplay was very smooth though, barely any different from using the official Oculus Link cable, so yeah, wow. Good show, Oculus. They've managed to knock it out of the park on their first attempt. So which is the best way to play? It is well documented on this channel that I am not a huge fan of wired PC VR gaming, so despite performing very well, the Oculus Link cable is the first to fall by the wayside. Who's next to fall? Well, neither actually. What Oculus have done is pitch their wireless streaming service at exactly the right point. 1, it's free. 2, it's super easy and simple to use. 3, did I mention it was free? Virtual Desktop is a paid-for app that has been carefully honed over the past year or so to give a peerless, wireless PC VR experience. The app is feature-rich and can be easily tweaked by the user to suit any setup. But 1, you have to pay for it, and 2, it isn't as easy to use as some technical knowledge is required to get the best out of it. Perhaps compare it to iOS and Android. iOS is super slick and easy to use, whereas Android is more flexible in what the user can do. Is that a fair comparison? I know I'll probably get butchered in the comments now. So, in conclusion, Quest users now have a choice of wireless PC VR streaming services. The official Air Link is slick, easy to use and free. Guy Godin's Virtual Desktop is a paid-for app that is more feature-rich and flexible. Which one should you use? I use Virtual Desktop every day to help create my content, but now I can also utilise Oculus Mirror alongside Air Link for features such as enabling stabilisation and changing field of view, amongst others. So it's a win-win for me and a win-win for all Quest users. Both systems work very well, so if you don't already own Virtual Desktop, you can still play all your PC VR wireless now. Have you tried all 3 systems? Which one do you prefer? You know the drill. Get involved and comment down below. Well, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and maybe consider subscribing. You can also support the channel on Patreon or by buying some of my stylish merchandise on tshirtstudio.com. I can also be found streaming on my mate Surgical Gaming's Twitch TV channel. Check out the link down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the other side.
It looks as if there are combined barricades up ahead. They're stopping anyone from getting any closer to the vault.
Okay, so what do you think?
Make your way into the distillery and see where it takes you. With my drone back online, we've finally got the... Oh, no, you're kidding me!